I would like people to hear the album first and foremost. If it's a success, that's great. But first and foremost, I'd like people to hear it. It's getting a good reception. There were a couple of enthusiastic fans who had celebrated a little bit too much alcoholically, shall we say, who were trying to unplug me from my effects pedal. And then grabbed our singer's jeans and tried to drag him off stage. So the police had to come, and there's one either side, and she sort of got lifted off the floor and escorted off. She came back later.
Hey, this is Sebastian for the Metal Gods Meltdown, and today I am joined by...
My name is Rob Sass, guitarist with Bad Matrix.
It's great to be chatting to you today. So Dangerous Game has finally arrived. Yeah. When did it hit you that this was the album you've been chasing for years? I know you've been like sort of not nagged, but asked to do this, haven't you?
Well, there was a bit of a backstory to this whole album because originally it was recorded in the late 80s and early 90s. And the record company were interested at the time. They paid for some more demos. They asked for a band to be put together, which I did. And then there was a recession going on at the time in the UK. And they called us into a meeting and they said, we're really, really sorry, but you and a bunch of other bands, we're going to have to say goodbye because of the recession. We just can't do it. So a week later, that died, and I formed another band. And then a couple of weeks after that, I was playing covers for the next 20 years. So this album sat in a drawer for many years, over 30 years, actually. And I was transferring stuff from DAT tape, a DAT tape, onto the computer. My wife was listening to it, and she was going, "This is just too good. People have got to hear this." I was going, I'm not interested anymore. But she talked me into it, and I spoke to a record promotions friend of mine, and he said the same thing as my wife, Jackie. So I had them both in my ears saying, I've got to do this. So I recruited, my first call was to my friend Phil Crombie of Deeper Purple. He and I are in the same Deep Purple tribute band. He said, absolutely, let's do it. And then I got on to Paul Morris, the keyboard player, who used to be with Rainbow. And then a friend of mine on drums, Paul Mallion, who I worked with many times. And eventually I got in contact with Polish-born singer Peter Zaleski. And he used to live in Spain, just down the road from me. Right. And so we got chatting, and he loved the album, very enthusiastic. So everyone was enthusiastic, and we just got on with it, and took a while to record it and get it right. So basically, it's re-recordings of those songs, but in today's style, with today's technology and everything like that.
So yeah, so it's totally revamped. So how far has this finished album drifted then from the version you first had back then in the 80s?
Well, some of the tracks have changed a little bit. I was surprised I remembered as much of the album as I did. I've got to be honest. As I was recording it, I went, I know how this goes. I'm able to play it. But a couple of songs changed. And because we had a dedicated keyboard player this time, we were able to explore things and change things around. And for instance, one of the songs has got a keyboard and guitar dual. So yeah, we did change a few things, but broadly speaking, it was more or less the same.
All right, and so you've got a full band and a full complement of a band now. So if you had to sum up the band's chemistry in a single word, what would that be?
Mixed. Mixed. Yeah, Paul Morris, myself, and Phil, the bass player, we worked together before, so we know each other quite well. And I know the drummer really well from when he worked with me in bands in the UK. So I suppose Peter, the singer, he was the one that's is on his own a little bit because we'd never worked together. But he's got an amazing voice and did an amazing job. But we were all on the same page, and that's the most important thing, I think, to make this thing happen.
So the guys without being disrespectful, but from being in a cover band like Deeper Purple, and when they've heard this album, were they like, what the hell? Why haven't you been doing this? Were they like a bit amazed, a bit like annoyed as well, a bit annoyed as well, like
a little bit. You know, it's like a hidden gem, isn't it?
yeah.
And I didn't see it that way. You see,
Yeah.
but to me, it was something that I did, a part of my life that was behind me. But when my wife Jackie said this has got to be heard, and my friend Lorenzo of Top Artist Management, he said people have got to hear this. And then when Phil started to hear the songs, and I sent him the original versions, he went, "We got to do this. Let's do it." Everyone who from the band who heard it were very enthusiastic. So it wasn't. I didn't have to twist anybody's arm.
The thing is, like when it would have been released, or had it been released, that was like when grunge was just about to hit anyway. So maybe it was a godsend that he didn't release it then.
Maybe.
I mean, did you have all the permy hair and everything back in those days, and were you glitzy?
No, no, I wasn't too much different to now. Maybe a bit shorter in my hair, but no, I was still a rocker. Yeah.
Yeah, you weren't like into the hair metal sort of going down that way.
No, I've never been really into the hair metal. No.
The elephant on the cover, then, that's a bold, calm, and ancient sort of cover. I mean, why the elephant? What does that mean for you?
It's a very dangerous game, sitting on a ball or standing on a ball at the top of a building. That's pretty dangerous.
This is true. Elephants represent memory, strength, and survival. Which of those themes sit closest to the heart of this album?
I think all of it, really, because as I was recording my parts of the songs on guitar, then I remembered times from the studio when we were recording originally. So a lot of memories came flooding back, as well as remembering the notes and what I was meant to be playing. A lot of good memories came back.
What do you hope Dangerous Game is going to do for you, Rob Sass, in 2026? Is it going to hopefully get you the limelight you rightly deserve?
Well, that remains to be seen. That's a question that other people should answer. I would like people to hear the album first and foremost. If it's a success, that's great. But first and foremost, I'd like people to hear it. It's getting a good reception. I haven't heard anybody yet say it's rubbish. Perhaps tomorrow now I'll see that. But people are liking the stuff. It's good, catchy material.
You've been involved in the music business a long time. I've sort of been doing reviews and stuff since I was 19, so a long time now. And it's a different world. You get so many haters, and you get all sorts going on with Twitter and wherever you put your album or wherever you put your music. How do you defend yourself with that, especially being a radio host as well? How do you cope with that?
Well, as far as Bad Matrix and the Dangerous Game album, I haven't had to defend myself. So, everyone's got an opinion. Everyone's entitled to the opinion. They might not necessarily be right, but their opinion is how they feel. If somebody's got a negative thing to say about whatever it is, I might try and investigate it. What is the problem? What is wrong with it? Or I might ignore it, on the basis that it's your opinion. I have mine.
Absolutely, yeah. So have you had many reviews then from journalists at the moment, or is that still?
Not too many at the present time, no. But the ones we've had have been favourable.
That's great. You remind me a little bit of David Coverdale. I don't know why. Whereabouts in England are you from originally?
I lived in the Amersham and High Wycombe area.
All right. So you're not like the Stockton upon Tees area then, where?
Absolutely not.
Sir David is from. We're not worthy. Okay, I'm going to ask you a little bit about Deeper Purple. So, has Ian Gillan or any of the band ever heard your version of Deep Purple?
Yes, they have. Steve Morse has seen videos. Ian Pace has seen videos. They're very aware of what we do. And my wife Jack and I went to see Deep Purple a few years ago down the coast in Merida. And I was talking to the guys, and I was talking to Don Airy, and he goes, "Yes, we know who you are and what you do."
First time I saw Deep Purple was the Perfect Strangers tour, Nebworth, 1984, I think it was. I was right at the front, at the festival when it started, and the Scorpions came on, the big boys, and we ended up right at the top of the hill. But it was good though, because we saw the whole set from the top of the hill was fantastic. Absolutely amazing that they're still going as well.
I was at Nebworth. I think everybody was, and but I was backstage watching it backstage. It was great, fantastic.
Oh yeah, Meatloaf got hammered that day, didn't he? Oh my god!
And he had a broken leg. He was singing in a plaster cast.
So going back to Bad Matrix, are there plans to take Bad Matrix out on the road?
We're talking about it, absolutely, and seeing what we can do. That will be early part of the year if we can make that happen. We're looking at the possibilities. Yes.
Okay, so are you all like still living in Spain, or are you sort of here, there, and everywhere, or is the band located?
We're spread out all over the place. I'm the only one living here in South Spain.
Right.
Phil, the bassist, lives in Essex in England.
Okay.
The drummer, Paul, he lives in the High Wycombe area, and Paul Morris lives in New York,
right.
And Peter Zaleski, he lives in Malta now.
Oh, so nice.
Spread around, yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be some sort of logistical achievement to get together then and actually get out on the road, yeah.
Well, we're kind of used to it these days with Deeper Purple because we're an international tribute as well. We're spread out all across Europe. So, we're kind of used to those sort of logistics now.
And would there be hopes to get over to the UK? If
we're going to do it, it'll be in the UK.
Okay, not Spain, because Spain's got a really good thriving metal community over there, hasn't it?
Absolutely. If we can get it done in the UK, then we'll try and repeat it in Spain. I'd like to I always want to bring the bands to Spain.
Yeah,
because the Spanish audiences know how to rock, and they do, and they love that sort of stuff,
Okay, then. So when you walk out on stage these days, what hits you first? Adrenaline, gratitude, or that old familiar fire?
Adrenaline, I guess, in varying degrees. Some shows I get a bit nervous beforehand. Other shows I don't. I guess excitement happens most of the time because it's important to have a good start, I think. And if everything's going well from the off, then that bodes well for the rest of the night.
What's the most unforgettable live moment you've had recently then? Glorious or disastrous?
Oh, well, we played with Deeper Purple. We played here in Spain a couple of years ago, an outdoor gig. And there were a couple of enthusiastic fans who had celebrated a little bit too much alcoholically, shall we say, who were trying to unplug me from my effects pedal and then grabbed our singer's jeans and tried to drag him off stage. So the police had to come, and there was one either side, and she sort of got lifted off the floor and escorted off. She came back later. So yeah, that's the memory that comes to mind straight away.
And you've lived through several eras of the music world. What keeps the hunger alive for you now?
Interesting question. I'm just a music fan. I love to play live. It's my thing. I've been doing it for decades. I'm happy on stage. It's my happy place, and sometimes I get some of my best thinking time on stage because I'm left alone and I'm playing, and suddenly I can think about other things, other gigs. Like with Deeper Purple, my mind is a blank. But if I'm doing a rock covers gig, that's my thinking time. It sounds crazy, but it works.
Is there a Deep Purple song you really hate playing?
Not that I can think of. Sometimes I hate learning them because they're a challenge. But when you get it, no, I can't think of one that I hate playing. No.
Okay, so the opposite to that then, which is your favourite Deep Purple song ever?
One of them would be Child in Time, without a doubt.
You'd say that. Yeah. Right. Okay then, so if you could send a message back to your younger self from the Dangerous Game era, what would you tell him?
I would say, for goodness sakes, learn to sing as well.
Okay. So how pleased then is your wife now that you've got this album out and it's there? Is she like buzzing?
Oh, she loves it. She loves the album. She's quite often in her office. She's playing it.
Cool.
Yeah, she loves it. Yeah.
Are there plans to get it out on vinyl, or is it just going to be on CD for the time being?
Vinyl, who knows? It's being released digitally on all the streaming platforms on July 22nd.
Okay.
And the second single comes out June 26th, so that's just in a few days' time. Second single is Hole in My Heart. But yeah, the digital release is July 22nd. I have a video to go with the second single.
Right.
The first single, Taking It Out on Me, also has a video. I mean, if you go to our website, badmatrix.com, there are links to our YouTube and Facebook. And you can see the videos that are up there so far.
Cool. I could just like see some of the tracks of the background of the med and everything. Yeah.
Well, there's a couple of the first single includes us there, so you see me in my garden, perhaps.
All right. With your gardening gloves on, yeah. All right, and so you contacted us via the interview I did with Greystone Canyon. Are there hopes then one day you'd be able to hook up with them and do a little tour or do some work even with them?
Well, that would be wonderful, especially because I know Darren Cherry, the guitarist vocalist of the band, for a very long time. We're good mates, and I actually produced a couple of their albums for them and was their recording engineer. So I know Darren very well. So I'd love to do that. That'd be great.
Can you give me 4 words that define the album?
Okay. Commercial rock, guitar, and hooks.
You've released this one. It's going to be a bit of a cheeky question. Are there hopes then there'll be a follow-up to this album? I know it's not even been released yet. It's not even gone out.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course.
And are you already...
Got some ideas, got a couple of songs ready. So yes, absolutely. I can't tell you when, but yeah, we'll be working on it. Well, the first one has to be Deep Purple, Made in Japan, because it's just one of the, it is probably, well, certainly for me, the best live album of all time. Jimi Hendrix, Electric Ladyland, the very first rock album I bought. That is as relevant today as the day it was recorded, 1968. Sensational stuff. Deep Purple, Perfect Strangers. Rainbow's first album. Down to Earth from Rainbow. And I suppose Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, because Ronnie James Dio invigorated and changed Black Sabbath.
Absolutely. I think I'd choose all of those myself, actually. Yeah, definitely the Deep Purple choices. Made in Japan is probably one of my favourite albums ever, actually. Okay.
Well, it would be Rainbow, Catch the Rainbow from the On Stage album, because it's lovely and long and features some beautiful guitar work from Richie Blackmore. Jimi Hendrix, 1983, A Merman I Should Turn to Be, from Electric Ladyland, again, because it's a long one and it's brilliant, some beautiful production on there. Rainbow, Danger Zone from Down to Earth. Excellent album, and that's a great tune. Nice and fast and great tune. Deep Purple, Child in Time from Made in Japan. That's fantastic. My preferred version. And then a couple of off-the-wall ones. First one being Elton John, Funeral for a Friend and Love Lies Bleeding. And then Robert Miles, Children.
Okay.
Tricky one. Made up song. Well, there's already a song called "Difficult to Cure" from Rainbow. I don't know.
Okay, I don't know. There we go. Right. So, do you prefer tapas or tapas? Tapas. Yeah, I know that's a joke off the IT crowd. Sorry. Do you prefer that tapas or beer? Which do you prefer?
Ooh, beer.
Okay, then who's going to win the World Cup, or don't you care?
I think it's going. I hope it's Spain. I'm actually rooting for Iran. Actually, surprise. I'm rooting for them. England would be nice. One more time in my lifetime would be great. Yeah, but supporting Spain and England, you can't go wrong.
Deep Purple. Do you prefer Deep Purple with David Coverdale, his very brief tenure with David Coverdale, or obviously Ian Gillan?
Ian Gillan.
Is there a song you wish you'd written yourself?
Well, Smoke on the Water. Definitely, it's devilishly simple, but it is also devilishly effective. Highway Star, Burn. Wish I'd written those. I also really like Place in Line from Who Do We Think We Are, which I think is an underrated album. And Blackmore's guitar playing on that guitar solo in Place in Line, absolutely superb. And his guitar tone is sensational.
Amazing. Okay, so the final one. Before you go out on stage these days, do you prefer a lager or a cup of tea?
Oh, lager.
Right, okay. He's still rocking.
You should see the drinks. You should see the drinks I have lined up by the side of the stage.
What about your radio station? And can you tell us a little bit about that? Your radio show, rather.
Yeah, it's called the Rob Sass Rock Show. I'm on 4 stations: Central FM in Spain, Hard Rock Hell Radio in the UK, Bulldogs Radio in Europe, and ARFM in the UK.
Oh wow!
So I do shows for them, and then at the end of the week, the show goes to Mixcloud, a podcast, and the account name is Rob Sass Rock Show, and they stay there forevermore. Fabulous! Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and
fantastic.
Enjoy the album.